This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
It was, and you know what? This tournament was a pretty fucking cool thing. And of course, I'm still in my fandom years here, and so I'm getting to see Tiger Mask and Giant Baba wrestle. I'm getting to see Dino Bravo wrestle, Rick Martel. I hadn't seen them wrestle before. We even had, these were the seedings. They had other teams too from Mid-South that I hadn't seen before.
Yeah, we just saw the top 10 there.
Right.
24
right.
teams though.
And that's where I first met Bruce at that show. And I remember thinking, and they had a big board, I think it was like a maroon board they put in the back, and we moved teams around when they won and they advanced. And it was pretty fucking cool. I remember going, I can't remember the crowd, if it was big or not. I thought the evening crowd for Dusty and Rick was pretty good, but I just remember it being fucking cool.
How funny was it too, by the way, when we see, here's the top 10 seeds: Arn Anderson and Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes and Nikita Koloff. All right, our next speaker. So Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair are no longer in that. Get everything he just said.
I know.
What?
You know, I when I saw him do that, I remember that it was Magnum, and remember that it was Magnum teaming with Ronnie Garvin, because they ended up going to the championship against the Road Warriors.
Right.
And I remembered it was Ronnie Garvin and Magnum, and I remember, how did they make that switch? Did they announce it, and then a week later they announced we're going to change it? Hell no, they announced the change like 3 minutes later. It's like, that's Bill Watts being the boss, man. The hell, this may be the Crockett Cup, okay, but I want this world championship in my place, and I'm going to make the change. That's exactly what it is.
And of course, it didn't happen. Let's recap again. We talked about our last episode was on March 8th that night. They were in Cincinnati, Ohio, and did $100,000 deal there, sold out. And of course, the next day, 2 shows, matinee in Roanoke, we mentioned earlier, record 42 grand. That night at the Omni, 79,000. They were off on the 11th through the 13th. I guess I glossed this over. They did a TV taping in Greenville, South Carolina. So you're going to see that on the syndicated show, but they're off the 11th, 12th, and 13th. And then on the 14th, the Midnights were on a show that sold out in Bassett, Virginia, $17,000 house. And here, of course, we're doing TBS tapings during the day, but that night we're in Charleston, West Virginia. It's an 8 p.m. show, does $40,000 at the gate. The next day, it's a matinee show, and it does a sellout, 34,000. And Jimmy would say, sold out the Asheville Civic Center with about 5,000, paying 34 grand, both all-time records. Hundreds were turned away. That night, they're in Cleveland, Ohio, a sellout again, $60,925. Jim Cornette wrote, the event sold out, 7,000 plus fans, a record gate, and had some turned away. If you're wondering how in hell these guys made this ridiculous schedule, early in 86, Crockett bought a refurbished commuter plane, a Gulfstream 2 that seated 18, and the top talent took this plane to the shows all over the East Coast. Later, a Falcon F-20 would be added, and the G2 would become known as the Jabroni Jet. Even with their own planes, the schedule would provide plenty of photo finishes in terms of getting to the events. So the Jabroni Jet, and those are the 2 planes, the Falcon F-20 and the G2. Greenville, South Carolina on the 17th. We've got 16,000 at the gate there. Mooresville, North Carolina is going to be a TV taping and only draws $14,000 at the gate. Raleigh has 14,600 at the gate.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.